Hi guys, it's Hannah and I'm making another how to set up your SmartNode video. I was only planning on making one this week. I was just going to do one for Mac users because I'm a Mac user. But then I had a few comments from people asking me to do a Windows 10 version and a few people messaging me in Discord as well. So this video is for you guys. I am on Windows 10 and we're going to set up a SmartNode from scratch. If you're not sure about what SmartNodes are, then definitely go to the website smartcache.cc and you can have a look on there. But for now, let's just get into it. Okay, so you can see here that I am on Windows 10 and I've got an empty SmartCache wallet in front of me. So of course, the first thing that we need to do is we need to send 10,000 smart exactly to an address in my wallet. So I'm going to click on receiving addresses and I'm going to create a new address, which I'm going to call SmartNode 01. And then I'm going to click OK. And I'm just going to copy this address. I'm going to go to my web wallet right now and send myself 10,000 smart exactly. Okay, so I did that behind the scenes and you can see now that I have 10,000 smart that's pending, currently unconfirmed, but coming through. So while I'm waiting for that to confirm, I'm just going to come into here and I am going to check a couple of files that we'll need. So I'm going to load up the smartnode.conf file. And I am also going to load up the smartcache.conf file. Now, the smartcache.conf file, we just need to make sure that this one says tx index equals 1. So that's great. That's in there. We don't need to do anything else. So I'm just going to leave that one. And then the smartnode.conf file, I guess, is the really important one. Now, this one already has an example for what the SmartNode configuration should look like. So we're just going to copy this example and then we're going to paste it on the line below and we'll edit this as we go along. The first thing I'm going to edit is just the name or the alias, which for consistency, I'm going to call SmartNode 01. And then the rest of this information we're going to grab soon. Going back to my wallet, I can see the 10,000 has confirmed. It's now available. So we're going to go to help and then we're going to go to debug window and console to get a couple of things that we need. Now the first command that we're going to use is SmartNode outputs. And what this is giving me is the transaction ID and the transaction index for that 10,000 smart that we want to use to run the node. So I'm going to copy this and then we're going to go back to the smartnode.conf file and we're going to paste it in there as well as the transaction index. Okay, so I just pasted that in there. I can tell that it's matching and the index is matching as well. And the next command that I'm going to use is SmartNode gen key. And this is going to give me my key that I need to activate my SmartNode. So again, important to get it correct. I'm going to copy it. And then I'm going to go back to the smartnode.conf file and paste it in there. Now those two are all good. And the index is good as well. And now we just need to get this IP address and fix the port. To do this, I am going to set up a server. So that's where we're going to run our SmartNode. So you can see I'm logged into Vultr right now. You don't have to use Vultr. There are a few different recommendations for service providers in the SmartCache guide. But I like Vultr. I've got some credits in here to pay to run the node. And I'm just going to click to deploy new server. The first thing that we need to do is choose the location. I'm just going to choose Dallas. It doesn't really matter. Server type definitely does matter. We want to make sure that we're choosing Ubuntu, the 16.04 64 bits. And then for the server size, 25 gigs, that $5 a month, that's all we need. Additional features, I mean, you can do your own research. For simplicity, I'm not going to choose any of that stuff right now. I don't really need it. What I am going to do now is I'm going to name my server. I'm going to call it SmartNode 01. And I'm going to deploy now. Okay, so just installing at the moment. So this is usually really quick. We'll just have to wait a few seconds and then it's going to give me my IP address. Okay, so I've got my IP address now, which is good. I'm going to go back to the smartnode.conf file and we're going to paste that in. So I'm going to paste the IP address here. And then for that port, we need to edit that as well. The port should always be 9678. So that's what I'm going to type in there. Okay, awesome. So now we've edited our smartnode.conf as much as we need to. In that smartnode.conf file now, we have the alias, which I just called SmartNode01, but you can call it whatever you want it to be. Then we have the IP address, which I copied from Vultr, followed by the port, which is 9678, and will be for you as well. We have that SmartNode gen key that I got from the debug window in my SmartCache wallet. And then we have the transaction ID and the transaction index as well, both of which I also got from the debug window in the SmartCache wallet. So we're all good to go from this side. So that's all good. Now we just need to wait for our server to run, and it's running already, so that's great news. Now what we need to do for Windows is we need to go to Putty to download Putty. So I'm getting that from putty.org and I'm just clicking there to download it. And I have a 64-bit machine, so I'm going to click to download that version. Okay, so I'm just going to follow the wizard now to get Putty all set up and installed, ready for us to start using. That one is finished and ready to go. So now we are going to click into our server just to get some more info that we're going to need, because we're going to need things like this IP address, that username, and also the password that's there. So let's open up Putty now and then we can start putting that information in. Okay, so first thing when I open Putty, I need to paste in that IP address from Vultr. So I'm just going to copy that one now and pop it in here. I can leave that port as 22, that's fine. And the connection type is SSH. Okay, so we've got the little window and it's asking me who I want to log in as. So I'm going to say that I want to log in as the root user. I'm just typing in root, and then it is asking for the password. So I'm going to copy the password from Vultr. And then I'm going to right click on Putty just to paste that in. So I right click and I press enter. Okie dokie. So that is connected. So now that I'm connected as the root user to my SmartNode server, I'm going to install using a method called bash. And you can find the official bash repository from the SmartCache GitHub. So if you come into the SmartCache GitHub, there's a project called SmartNode, and then you can find all the instructions here. But essentially, we're just going to use two command lines. So one is wget, and the other one is install sh. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is download the install sh file, and to do that it's the wget command. So I'm going to paste that in there and enter, and then I'm going to call the bash install by copying this line and pasting that one in there, and then this is going to get everything ready for us. So when I press enter, that is telling me that it will reboot the server when it's finished. So I'm pressing enter because that's fine. I'm also pressing enter because I don't need a custom SSH port. And then here it's asking me for my SmartNode gen key. So I'm going to go back to my smartnode.conf file, and I'm going to copy that one to paste into Putty. Okay, right click to paste and then press enter, and you can see the magic has started to happen. So I'm just going to let that do its thing. This really shouldn't take too long at all. It's probably going to take about a minute for this to come through. So that's finished happening, and it's telling me that it is rebooting the server. So we've lost the connection there. Now what we're going to do is we're going to close this down. So we're closing Putty, and then we're going to reopen it again. And we're going to have to paste in again the IP address. So just go back to Vultr and copy that one. Okay, so let's log in again. So we're logging in with the username root. It wants my password again, so I'm just going to copy that one now and paste that one in here. We're now connected again, and then just to check if everything is okay, I'm going to use the command smartcache cli get info, and I can see that it is looking fine. I can see we're on block 1024, so it's just started downloading the blocks. We're going to have to leave it to download for a little bit, which could take up to an hour, and then we will come back and check on it a little bit later. Okay, and this is me checking on it again, and it's on block 300,161, which is awesome. So this is just after the smart nodes have launched. So people are already getting their node rewards, and there are lots of happy users at this stage. So what we need to do now is we're going to need to close down the smartnode.conf file, and we're going to need to close down the SmartCache wallet, and then I can reopen it just to make sure that my SmartNode is set up. Okay, so I'm just reopening my Smart Cash wallet now. Great, so this one is open and I'm going to go to SmartNodes and then I'm going to click My SmartNodes and we can see that there is a new entry in here. I'm just going to expand this out for you guys. So I can see my alias there, SmartNode01. The status is currently missing, but if I right click and I hit Start Alias, it's going to ask me if I'm sure. Yep, and I am. And then it's going to tell me that my SmartNode01 has successfully started. Okay, now one thing you can do to check that everything is okay is you can use the command smart cache clear and then SmartNode status. Awesome, and it's telling me SmartNode successfully started. So that's all we needed to do, just a really quick guide. If you are a Windows user, I hope that this helped you. Leave me a comment down below and also hit that like button as well. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video.